Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to another episode here of the Modern Day Slave Podcast. I'm your host, Nakia, all rights reserved without prejudice. And we want to take you in today with how to engage in law enforcement for those that are what we call state nationals. Now, if you want to know more information about what it means to be a state national, or more information about, more importantly, how to be free and how to operate in private, please click on the links that are in the description here, and that'll get you started with learning more information about what we're talking about. You may have seen on some of the recent episodes of Cops or some of those other episodes where when the law enforcement engages with a secure party, how the engagement and interaction happens to go. And today I want to bring you some facts for those that consider themselves to be free and help to educate you around some of your rights as it relates to you being able to operate freely on the land. That being said, this is just for the purpose of providing information. I'm not, acting in any type of public capacity. This is for private use only. All rights are reserved. So that being said, I want to talk about the conversation that you have and that you engage in with law enforcement, the two pieces of important paperwork that you want to carry with you at all times. First off, when you get ready to engage in these types of conversations with a member of law enforcement, it's important that you make a declaration prior to making this engagement at all. Because by doing so, you're starting the process of protecting yourself, which is the asset. So keep in mind, this is the Modern Day Slave Podcast, right? It's important that you understand who the true asset is. As someone who is, quote unquote, a slave owner, what do you think is the most valuable resource to the slave owner? Well, it happens to be the property to the slave owner, which is the slave. So let's talk about how to engage with their people when it comes to being able to be free and truly exercise your rights as a free person. So when you engage in law enforcement, one of the first things you want to make sure to state is that this conversation is being recorded, that you are not engaged in commercial use of the highways or byways, nor are you operating in any for hire capacity, because your rights are protected when you are operating in private. And see, they have made you a public utility, a ward of the state in a lot of cases. And by doing so, that allows for them to continue to enslave you, to traffic you, to imprison you, to put you in their jurisdiction. But you're not that. You are what your creator allows you to be. You then want them to acknowledge that they have been informed that you're not operating in the capacity in which they are trying to engage in you in. Again, this statement is to be used anytime you're engaging with law enforcement while you are traveling on the land, not on the sea, not in the air, but when you're traveling on the land. And you also want to let them know this is a very important piece, that you are exempt from foreign law under Amendment 11 of both the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the United States of America, and that you reserve the right to claim those exemptions. All right, that's the first piece. Now, why is that important, Nick? That may be the question that you're asking. Well, that's important because you're putting them on notice that you're recording everything so that it becomes a part of official record on your behalf, thus, therefore, claiming your rights. So now that you have claimed that when engaging with them, these two pieces of paperwork are going to become vital for you to be able to display to them. Now, the first piece of paperwork that I want you to see is what's called an affidavit of right to travel and public record. Again, notice that this is something that you want to make sure that you have notarized, because that starts the process of recording it for them to be able to have notice that this is what you are declaring. You are affirming this statement. And I'll give you just a few pieces of this to help you really truly understand what this is. It says, know all men and womb men by these presents that I, Nakia, being first duly sworn, deposes and says, as administrative notice to all persons, courts, bar association members, law enforcement agents, public servants, trustees, corporate entities, and fictitious entities. This is serving them notice of who you are and what you are declaring here. It says, I am a non-corporate, non-fictitious, non-resident, living, breathing, flesh and blood, naturally born, man and inhabitant. And now affirm, secure, claim, and defend my unalienable, notice the caps there, self-evident. This is directly from their Declaration of Independence. We're not even talking about the Declaration of Interdependence, which a lot of y'all don't even know about. An inherent right to travel, unregulated, unmolested, and unrestricted upon public walkways, waterways, highways, and to transport my personal, private, lodal, and or allodal property in/with my private automobiles and or conveyances, unhindered by any private, corporate, or statutory law, code, ordinance, Department of Motor Vehicles / Secretary of State regulations, so-called, quote, requirement or person, my unalienable right to travel. Notice this, right to travel in caps, is affirmed and protected by who? My Creator, by the organic constitution of the several United States. Hence, there must be multiple constitutions. People don't even know this. 1789, specifically the 9th and 10th Amendments, and by the Organic Bill of Rights, 1791, and also upheld numerous times by various courts, including the Supreme Court, which there are some Supreme Court cases that are in this document as well, which you will see in just a moment. So that way you can include those as a part of the documents that you are asserting to them. In support of that right, I now explicitly and without prejudice of court or court recourse, reserve, assert, claim, and defend my right to travel because I can, so long as, look, notice this, I do not damage property or injure parties. Now, keep in mind, you are not operating, as you mentioned, in a for-hire capacity. In other words, I am not looking for you as the law enforcement agent to engage in me in hire to traffic me on the courts, the land, or on the sea. I'm not looking to do that. I'm just simply educating and operating under my right that is given to me by my Creator. I expressly reserve all rights without prejudice or recourse herein and hereafter to not be detained or questioned while traveling. So again, this document continues to, assert your privileges and your rights as it continues. Notice that it says here, I declare my automobile with a VIN, and it gives you the VIN number there because that's what you want to list as a part of this documentation, your VIN numbers to your vehicles, of which attached non-commercial common law plates as my private property, household goods, and personal conveyance, my domicile / travel ID, which the pictures are attached so they can see there, is not a contractual document, nor a document that grants jurisdiction of any circumstance. So that's the first document. And you can notice there that this document continues on. So you've got, a lot of other statutes and titles that it references in regards to the rights that are granted to you as a person. These are the things that they have sworn that they will uphold and protect for you. So again, these are all included as a part of this particular document. That's the first document. That is a must. It's a necessity. If you are traveling in a private capacity, this is an absolute necessity to have this document. The second document that you want to make sure that you have with you is the document that is your fee schedule. And by having this particular document, this document is putting them on notice that if they decide that they want to engage with you, that they want to traffic you in their jurisdictions on the sea or in the air, then guess what? This sets up a schedule of fees that they must pay you in order to engage with you if they so choose to do so. So notice here what it says. It says, to whom it may concern. It's a notice of intent and fee schedule. It says, the annexed notice of intent fee schedule is a schedule of mandatory fees instated by the secured party, which is who? Myself. And I'm authorized as a representative on behalf of the ward of state, which they have classified you as the transmitting utility that they have classified you as. And it says, I, Nakia, do hereby set forth fees to be instated in any business dealings with any other entities which you have claimed. You reclaim that you are a living, breathing man and that you take control of all of your assets that your slave master has seized from you. And it says, for any business conducted relevant to this schedule, fees are due and must be paid before said business can commence. In the event that invoicing becomes necessary, notice here, we'll talk about the amounts and we'll send that to them 15 days before. If said fees are not met, the right of the secured party, myself, to refuse or avoid any forms of business interactions and or transactions will be reserved. So notice here, again, I've signed this, gives me information, and you also have to have this document also notarized. So you can see that when I had this document notarized inside of Maricopa County. And this is a list of some of the fees, right? Penalty for private use, right here. Penalty for public use, right here. Look, if they want to use your name, right? They want to ask you for your name and who you are, your license number, your social security number, any of that stuff. These are a schedule of fee. If they want to scan your iris, a retinal scan, $5 million. Anything that requires DNA, $5 million. And the list goes on. Notice this is an 8-page document. This is page 2 of 8. This is an 8-page document, which gives you a list of said fees in the event that they want to continue to traffic you, that they want to continue to infringe upon your unalienable rights, which were guaranteed to you by the Declaration of Independence. So again, family, this has been your host, Nakia. I hope that this information was helpful to you. Again, I'm just putting out information. I'm not operating in any public capacity. If you like the information, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and come back for more information. I've got another video that I want to share with you as well that will show you where to find, in fact, that you have been trafficked on the sea, sold as a vessel, that your name has been used to commence business on your behalf without you even knowing, without you even having prior knowledge. And if you want to learn more about how to reclaim those things in which they have done to you, please come back, subscribe, and share. Again, I'm your host, Nakia. Peace, family. Peace and light.